The sun was just beginning to crest the hilltops behind Windmere Valley when Ellis Monroe, 12 years old and covered in tomato juice, realized he might have just committed a federal crime. The tomato in question, juicy, heirloom, organic, lay in pieces at his feet. Around him, students stood frozen, baskets of fresh-picked vegetables in hand. The school garden, once a secret project led by their rebellious science teacher, Mr. Latch, was bursting with a legal life. Kale, basil, sunflowers, and the highly prohibited red Roma tomato. Then came the voice that, "HOA, this illegal gardening stops now." The shriek cut through the morning calm like a lawnmower over daisies. Ellis turned. Standing at the edge of the garden beds, backlit by a drone spotlight, was Lydia Durham, Ministry of Agricultural Compliance, High Command. Clad in a blinding pink pantsuit with LD stories embroidered on the lapel, Lydia was flanked by 6 gray-suited enforcers who were already trampling the marigolds and confiscating cucumbers like they were contraband. One carried a clipboard. Another had handcuffs. She marched down the rows, pointing dramatically. "You children are endangering the public with your unregulated flora, and you," she jabbed a finger at Mr. Latch, "will be prosecuted for reckless planting and educational eco-subversion." Mr. Latch looked up from his harvest log, squinting behind his cracked glasses. "These are tomatoes, not tactical weapons, Lydia." Lydia turned a shade of red that might have violated her own color palette. "They are unauthorized consumables grown without ministry approval. Do you understand how dangerous that is? But they're just... Do I look like someone who cares about just..." She spat. A drone buzzed overhead, capturing the confrontation in glorious 4K. The footage would be edited and broadcast that evening on the Compliance Hour. Lydia knew how to perform for the public eye. She gestured grandly to the camera. "Children, today you have seen what hap." She turned on her heel. "Clear it." Tomato vines were pulled. Basil was bagged. A small girl cried as her carefully grown carrots were labeled evidence. Ellis didn't say a word. He just reached down, picked up a tomato seed from the dirt, and pocketed it. A week later, Ellis sat at a dusty desk in his bedroom, staring at the seed. It was just a seed, tiny, harmless. But under the laws of the ministry, possessing it was the equivalent of hoarding an unregistered firearm. His family had been questioned. The school had been shut down. Mr. Latch had resigned and disappeared. Lydia had moved on to her next target, as seen in her viral video titled, "Stop Composting Now." But something had shifted in Ellis. He began to research, quietly, offline, through old encyclopedias and black market gardening zines. He learned about permaculture, about heirloom varieties, about a forgotten movement called seed sovereignty. That night, he decided he would plant the seed, not just to grow a tomato, to start a revolution. Deep beneath the city of New Anglia, in the forgotten subway tunnels sealed off after the Great Flood of 2035, a rebellion grew, literally. The Root Cellar, a secret network of eco-activists, botanists, ex-chefs, and rogue landscapers, had turned the underground into a hydroponic Eden. Hanging lights mimicked sunrises. Vines crept across rusted rails. The scent of cilantro floated through the tunnels. Their leader was Compost Carl, a bearded, sandal-wearing ex-celebrity chef who'd been blacklisted after smuggling pumpkin seeds into a cooking show. Carl watched Ellis on a hidden drone feed. "This kid's the real deal," he said. Beside him, a woman named Janice, the worm whisperer, sipped tea made from illicit mint. "He's got that glint in the eye," she said. "Same one you had before the cauliflower crackdown." Carl smiled. "We need him." Image scene used here. Lydia yelling, "Get out, in 5 minutes," on a mountain cliff. Lydia Durham stood on the edge of A. She wasn't here to hike. Below her, a man stood calmly among the trees. Ronan Vale, a former forest ranger turned eco-fugitive. He'd been caught distributing tree seeds and building unauthorized forest huts for displaced gardeners. "You have 5 minutes to evacuate," Lydia bellowed. Ronan smiled faintly. "Or what? You'll bulldoze the forest." She pointed at him like a missile locked on a target. "I'll do worse. I'll pave it." Ellis stepped cautiously, flashlight beam bouncing off brick walls as he followed the faint trail of chalk arrows marked with a sprouting seed symbol. He had left home hours ago, leaving behind a note that said only, "Don't worry, I'm planting hope. Love, Ellis." He gripped the jar tightly. Inside it, nestled in damp cotton, were 6 seedlings grown from the tomato seed he'd hidden. They were fragile but alive. After the incident on the cliff with Lydia Durham and Ronan Vale, something had shifted across the country. Whispers of rebellion grew louder. And in every whisper, Ellis kept hearing the same name. Compost Carl. Carl had become a myth, a legend. The government painted him as a bioterrorist. The people painted him as a green-thumbed prophet. To Ellis, he was the only one who could help him grow this revolution. Finally, Ellis reached the end of the tunnel. A heavy door stood before him, covered in moss, painted with a sigil. A trowel crossed with a carrot. He knocked. Silence. Then a mechanical voice buzzed overhead. "State your purpose, kid." Ellis cleared his throat. "I have seeds. I want to grow something real." A pause. Then, click. The door swung open. Inside was a different world. Rows of vegetables in vertical gardens. Solar panels. Aquaponics systems powered by fish tanks. And people, dozens of them,